answers. And the topic we have today says, Importunity is powerful. Importunity is powerful. Our text is taken from the book of Luke 11. Luke 11 from 5. Luke 11 from verse 5. I read, And he said unto them, Which of you shall have a friend, and shall go unto him at midnight, and say unto him, Friend, lend me 3 loaves. Verse 6. For a friend of mine in his journey is come to me, and I have nothing to set before him. Verse 7. And he from within shall answer and say, Trouble me not, the door is now shut, and my children are with me in bed. I cannot rise and give thee. Verse 8. I say unto you, though he will not rise and give him because he is his friend, yet because of his importunity, he will rise and give him as many as he needed. Praise the Lord. Importunity is powerful. What is importunity? Importunity is constant and insistent demanding. Constant and insistent demanding. That you are asking for one thing and you are always asking for that thing, you are demanding for it constantly. You are demanding for it constantly. There are 4 powerful factors that help us to receive answers when we want to make requests from men. 4 powerful factors that help us that when we want to make requests from men, we consider them. And it's not only on behalf of the person that is requesting. Even the person that is meant to give also consider these 4 factors. And what are these factors? Number 1, right timing. Right timing. If you want to go and ask a man, probably you know somebody that is very wealthy, and you are in need of money. You want this person to give you like 5,000, and you know that this person is more than able. And you go there, you are looking for the man, only for you to get to where the man is. You saw the man raging, very angry, furious, shouting on top of his voice. Look at what they did to me. He was angry. Will you be able to open your mouth at that moment and make that request? You will not be able to. Only you advise yourself and say, this time is not the right timing. Maybe let me look for a way to calm him down, or if possible, come later or come the following day. We consider these things. Number two factor that we also consider is protocol. Protocol. If you defy protocol, it may affect your request. Now we know that it's a normal protocol that when you go to visit a man in his office, you are not working in that organization. You know the man that is working there, you want to go and visit him. The normal protocol is that when you get there, you knock. After knocking, you open. You go inside and greet the man. These are normal protocols. Now, for example, you want to go and ask a man for a favor, only for you to get there without knocking. You barge in, open the door. As you enter, you jam the door, bam. You go without greeting him and started making your request. You have defied protocol. That man can get angry and tell you to get out of his office. Because why? You have defied protocol. Another factor is principle that help us. Principle. We know that there are some requests that you want to make. You need to honor the person you are requesting from. For example, now you are single and you want to get married. And you know a wealthy man that you want to say, okay, I want this man to be the chairman of the occasion. The chairman of the occasion. Only for you to meet the man somewhere, maybe you see him along the road, you stop his car, and you are telling him that, sir, I'll be wedding next month, and I want you to become the chairman of my occasion. And that's all. The man will see you as an irresponsible person. That request may not be granted. It is when you follow the due principles, you go to his house, go with your invitation card. It is expected of you can go with a bottle of wine and go and honor that man in his house. Sir, take this. I am inviting you for my wedding, and I want you to be the chairperson of the occasion. The man, after collecting it, will not be able to reject your demand. And lastly, relationship. There are demands that you make. You also consider the relationship. For example, you know a man that is a billionaire. No matter how wealthy this man is, 5,000, 10,000 is nothing to him. He can give to a stranger or anybody he meets on the road. But the issue is different. You cannot be a stranger and walk to that man and say, sir, I need favor. I want to do a business and I need 500 million to start that business without any relationship. Do you think that man will answer that demand? But assuming it's his brother now that comes to meet him and said, I just received a business idea and I know it's going to sell. Look at it. I need 500 million for this. He can look at it and say, okay, it's my brother. Let me help him so that I will stop disturbing for money. He can do it based on what? On relationship. These are factors that are powerful that helps us to receive answers for our requests. But I tell you one thing tonight, importunity is much more powerful than these factors when we are talking about requesting from God. When you are making requests from God, from the text that we read, Jesus Christ showed us that all these factors are also applicable to God. But much more than these factors, importunity is more powerful. Let us go back to the text that we read. Luke 11 verse 5. Go back. Verse 7. Okay. Verse 6, Verse 5. Right. Now, when Jesus Christ gave us this parable, he was referring to us and God, making requests from God. Number one, this man went at the wrong time. He went at the wrong time. The timing was wrong. When did he go to make that request? At midnight. Not saying you cannot make requests from God at midnight. That is even the best time to pray. He's not saying that. It's better to pray at night, better to pray. But what is trying to bring out here is that we should also recognize that God also has timings when He is doing things. That was why Jesus Christ told the mother, said, "My time is not yet come." That means there are timings to God's doing also. Don't get it wrong, okay? What is trying to bring out that this man approached at the wrong time. Probably it was not yet time for God to give him that thing. Probably God is saying, okay, maybe the next 6 months or the next 1 year or the next 2 years, I will give him this thing. And this man approached at midnight and said, "Give me 3 loaves of bread." Verse 6. Verse 7. Now look at what happened here. He responded and said, "You have come at the wrong timing." But importunity continued knocking the door. Importunity, don't forget, is constant and insistent demanding. He said, "Okay, no problem. Let me leave the issue of timing. You have also defied my protocol. My protocol is that I have shut my door. It is night. In the morning is when I usually open my door. That is my protocol. I lock it at night. I open it in the morning." Importunity continued knocking. And then he said, "Okay, I let that go. But now my principle is that when I'm in bed with my children, I don't rise until it is morning. I don't rise up until it's morning." Importunity continued knocking. Verse 8. And even relationship. He said he got out of bed not because they are friends, not because of the friendship. Importunity overrides friendship. Why did he rise from the bed? He rose because of his importunity. He rose because of his importunity. And one thing we need to note there is that when he rose, he did not give him 3 loaves of bread. He did not give him what he asked for. He did not give him what he wanted. He gave him what he needed. He gave him what he needed. There is a difference between our wants and our need. There is a difference between want and need. There are times that your want and your need may be the same, fine and good for you. But most times your want is usually different from your needs. And the funniest part of it is that as human beings, we do not even know what we need. We do not know what we actually need. What we always go for is our want. We always go in search for our want, but not our need. Until you have seen men that they just know that there's a vacuum within them. They don't know what is causing it, but they feel, okay, if I have more money, maybe I'll be satisfied. They have the money, the vacuum remains. That's not what they needed. If I have this, maybe I'll be okay. They have everything, but yet there's still something lacking. And yet they don't know what it is. I'll take something in my life as an example. When, after I got married to my wife, just after a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, she told me that she was pregnant. It was like a surprise to me. Like just, what, now? I was surprised. I said, maybe she doesn't know what she's saying. But lo and behold, the tummy started growing. And then I said, okay. Me initially, I was like, oh, let us just stay for a few periods before we even think of that, maybe 3-6 months. But I accepted, I said, okay, no problem. And then my prayer to God was that God should give me a baby boy. That I want a baby boy first. Along the line, she went for scan. She checked, it was a baby girl. She came back and said she went for scan, and the scan result says it's a baby girl. I said, okay, all well and good, no problem. After a while, she delivered. When she delivered, something happened. After she delivered, I noticed within me, and she was the one that first said it. She said, God is wonderful. I said, what happened? She said, she didn't even know that what she needed was a baby girl. That she was just satisfied, just pleased, and everything that she just. I now looked at her and said, you are feeling the same way too? And that was the same way I was also feeling. When I saw, I didn't know that what I actually needed was a baby girl. I accepted. When I saw I was peace, I was joyful, and I fell in love with her. Our want is different from our need. Our need quenches the thirst within us. Our need satisfies the hunger within us, but our want doesn't. It doesn't. So one thing we need to know, importunity is so powerful that even the scripture says the prayer of a sinner is an abomination to God. But importunity can make God answer the sinner. Importunity can make God answer a sinner. But the answer is that it may not be what he is asking for. It may not be what he wanted, but it's certainly going to be what he needed, which will be salvation. He will find a way and draw him to himself unto salvation first. So now that you do not know your need, but you know your want, you can stand your two ground and go to God with your want, with importunity, and say, God, this is what I want. This is what I want. And standing on your two ground, it will marvel you the way God will arise and give you what you need. What is lacking today in many prayer altars is importunity. Importunity is lacking in many prayer altars today. Some people may tell you that when you pray for something once, believe you have received, and forget about it, go your way. It is faith. I agree, it is faith. But I also tell you, importunity is also faith. Importunity is not doubt. Importunity is not lack of faith. Importunity is also faith. Importunity is holding on tight to God, that I know that you can do it. And I know that you are the only one that can do it for me. And I know that you will do it for me. it is also faith. I'm not discouraging you from practicing your faith. But once you pray first and you believe, and then you are not seeing it manifesting, it's better you apply importunity. Very, very important that you apply importunity. Jesus also told us more about this using the parable of the unjust judge and the widow. The parable of the unjust judge and the widow. The Bible recorded that this man does not regard anybody and he does not fear God. But this widow was always going to meet this judge. Importunity every day. Going there every day. And suddenly this man gave up and said, no way, I cannot continue like this unless this woman wears me out. And it was recorded that he rose up and answered and gave her her desire. That is importunity. There are two things that God cannot resist: hunger and desperation. Hunger and desperation. Let's read the book of Matthew 5 verse 6. Matthew 5, 6. It says, blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. God cannot resist hunger. That was why when the people came to him, he preached to them. After the end of the crusade, they were going hungry and said, no, this is not my nature. I cannot resist hunger. They cannot leave my presence hungry. It's a taboo. They should come back and sit. And he made sure he filled them. Mark 8, 3-9. Mark 8, 3-9. Mark, not Matthew, Mark 8, 3-9. Mark 8, 3-9. And if I send them away fasting to their own houses, they will faint by the way of divers of them came from far. Verse 4. And his disciple answered him, from whence can a man satisfy these men? With bread here in the wilderness. Verse 5. And he asked them, how many loaves have ye? And they said, 7. 6. And he commanded the people to sit down on the ground. And he took the 7 loaves and gave thanks and prayed and gave to his disciples to set before them. And they did set them before the people. Verse 7. And they had a few small fishes, and he blessed them and commanded to set them also before them. Verse 8. So they did eat and were filled. He didn't allow them to go without hunger. It is his nature to feel hunger. It is his nature. And Mark 2, 4-5. Mark chapter 2. Mark chapter 2, verse 4-5. And when they could not come near unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was. And when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay. Verse 5. And when Jesus was, he saw their faith. Desperation is faith seen, not faith heard. Faith seen. He saw their faith. That was a confirmation of their faith. Importunity is desperation. Importunity is desperation, and desperation is a proof of faith. It is a proof of faith. When Daniel was praying, assuming Daniel prayed the first day, and he believed in his heart with faith that God has answered this prayer, which God did actually, and he went his way and never prayed about it again, do you think he would have received the answer? This is why we need importunity. Many of us pray like this. We pray once and then we shift the prayer point. We say we believe. You need to continue as long as you have not received your evidence. Importunity causes you to continue until you receive your answer. I heard the testimony of a man of God that said he prayed for wisdom for 2 years. He prayed for God's wisdom for 2 years. That is what? Great importunity. Great importunity. And as it stands, the wisdom of God is manifesting in his life. Importunity will make heaven to rise on your behalf. Don't be tired of asking for one thing, the same thing, consistently every day. Don't be tired until you see the manifestation. When my wife was pregnant for the second pregnancy, I was at home and then I heard a voice said, okay, when she told me, in my mind I just said, okay, I hope probably this is going to be a boy. And the voice said, do you think you can ever have a male child? That was the mistake that devil did. Assuming I didn't hear that voice, probably I may not have been serious with it. Immediately I heard that voice, I went off, I was mad. I got angry. From that day till the day she delivered, I was fasting and asking God that this one must be a male child. That this one must, from that day, I think she was just a month gone. From that day till the day she delivered, every day I was fasting and going to God that this must be a male child. And then a pastor friend, before she delivered, a pastor friend of mine was doing his 2 years anniversary of his ministry. So I went there, he invited somebody from Abuja. The man of God came from Abuja. And as the man was ministering, the man looked at my wife and said one thing. I know that many people in the congregation will not understand. He looked at my wife and said, you are carrying a male child, but it's not supposed to be a male child. I smiled within me. I said, it's a confirmation. God has done it. Importunity works with God. Even though your want may lead you to ask amiss, with importunity you will get what you need. The reason why some of our answers do not come is not even because of wrong motive. Probably it might not be because of sin, but because of lack of importunity. Importunity overrides all resistance in the place of prayer. Let us imbibe this attitude of showing God how hungry you are for whatever you want. How hungry you are for your desire. Probably they have not come to pass because you are not hungry enough for it. Let us always go to Him with that thing that you want in your life. Make it a prayer point every day.